All right, we're starting this stream live. If everyone's in here, I'm still watching the end of the game. Watching as live as you guys. Fucking, if I wasn't stoned right now, I'd be livid. So I'm not actually looking at the gameplay. I don't even have my phone died, so don't even. I don't know how I'm gonna do player grades. Don't know how player grades got to get done, cause need to look at stats. So. Bring it to you live. It stands right now. Dallas 27, Philly 20, 27 seconds on the clock. Don't really know who's going to make a play here. Not a lot of Golden Tate as expected. I mean, doesn't know the playbook yet. We'll haven't been ready for the New Orleans Saints. Oh, Carson Wentz almost gets sacked because our offensive line is terrible. Throws a knuckler because he got hit behind because our offensive line is garbage. 3rd and 10. I do need to say right now, that as much as the Zeke Elliott hurdle is going to be overhyped because he jumped the worst guy on our roster, I do personally feel like that huge Michael Bennett second on deck kind of negates that. But full kudos. Best play of the game was that Leighton Vander Esch tackle on Corey Clement. That was incredible. Vander Esch is a mean one. Wentz throws it to Zach Ertz, who gets open. "15 seconds. What are we going to do? What's your suggestion, Chris Collinsworth?" All right, come on, 15 seconds. Man, they're not going to win this game. Carson Wentz is the only guy that plays good on the offense. You're not going to win when your quarterback's the only one that's playing well. Oh, look, they quick check down to Ertz, gets first down. I mean, something crazy could happen. We do have Carson Wentz, but they don't deserve to win this game. I'm going to say this right now. Even if they come off and get a touchdown here in 11 seconds and it's a miracle and they go to overtime and win, Dallas deserves to win this game. Dallas did what they needed to do. They did what they always expect they're supposed to do, is run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott and play, above average defense, whereas Philly have done nothing that they're supposed to do. This is the game after the bye. This is the game that you're supposed to have, all the momentum. It's the second half of the season. We just come off beating the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you play like dog shit. They're literally no one on this team, almost sacked. Wentz throws it across the middle to Zach Ertz, and he laterals it to Golden Tate, and the game is over because that was a terrible fucking play call. Oh. I don't know what to tell you. Philly sucks. They suck. They are not good at all. There is Carson Wentz. There is Fletcher Cox. There is Malcolm Jenkins. There is Zach Ertz. You have 4 players that aren't pathetic so far this season. I'm not even. This is gonna be more of a rant than it's gonna be a fucking player grades. Dallas deserved to win. As much as it pains me to say, Dallas. What was anything good that Philly did in that game? Carson Wentz made some wild throws. Zach Ertz did what Zach Ertz does best, which is lead the league in receptions, get 2 touchdowns. Still don't make anybody miss, but Zach Ertz still remains the best tight end in football this season. What else? Offensive line was dog shit. If the offensive line is going to be that bad, at least throw Jordan Mailata out there. The rugby star. If anything we've learned from Madden, he's a superstar dead player. But he was really good in the preseason for what it was. Just throw him out there, man. He's not going to be any worse. How many times I see Isaac Seumalo on his ass? How many times was Zach Ertz left to block DeMarcus Lawrence straight up? Like, not a chip, not a helping Big V, because Big V desperately needed help to stop DeMarcus Lawrence. How many times were they showing on there, like, oh, look, DeMarcus Lawrence got free, and you know what happened? Oh, Zach Ertz, the worst blocking tight end. Well, not the worst. He's got better, but probably out of all the star tight ends, if you're listing the top 10 tight ends in football, Zach Ertz is probably the least qualified to be in pass protection or run blocking. He's on the best Cowboys pass rusher. Straight up. It's garbage, man. Nothing about this team is the season over? No. The NFC is terrible. We lost one to Dallas. Dallas is probably going to choke up a little bit. Probably should have won it. It doesn't even matter. The season is not over. But I'm not seeing any reason to be optimistic. There's been no signs of progress this season. This has all been our wins. Oh my God, we barely won that one. And our losses have been, how did we lose that one? There's been no, that's the Eagles of old. That's the Eagles that look like anything to what they were last year. There hasn't been a single game like that. There hasn't even been a single play that goes, that's the Eagles of old. It's, you had the Philly special that you ran week 2 or something like that. And you know what, actually, I'm gonna get on my, who's that dude? Who's that dude that hates pretty much everybody? What's his name? Colin Cowherd. I want to be a Colin Cowherd for a moment. Philadelphia is out here after every touchdown doing some elaborate celebration. Yeah, the Carson Wentz did one. They had the salute. The salute to service one was pretty cool. But they're out here doing this swagadocious, elaborate celebrating. You're playing like dog shit. You're barely putting up 20 points in a game. This was an offense last year that put up 30 a game. This is an offense last year that the fourth quarters was us just running the ball out. And they're out here celebrating. So at the risk of sounding like an out-of-touch white supremacist pretty much like Colin Cowherd, what the fuck are they celebrating about? You make a big play and, move on. You're expected to make these plays. You could get swaggy on them. You can flex on them when you're up 30 and you're beating Dallas. Not when you're coming from behind at home against the Dallas Cowboys. You don't do this stupid, especially that picture celebration at the end was absolutely garbage. I don't know, man. If I'm a Dallas fan, Dak is still terrible. Dak Prescott, half the goddamn game, it was Chris Collinsworth was just saying, how did he miss this one? There's a guy that can't hit the broadside of the barn. Dallas sucks. Congratulations on the win. That's all you're going to get that's positive. And, I've stated 4 or 5 times you deserve to win that game. But Dallas still sucks. It's not oh, my God, Philly's done in the division. Dallas sucks. Redskins are pretty much an any given Sunday type team. They could be good one day and be the worst team in the league the next. But, when we're talking about the Eagles, looking at New Orleans next week, oh my God, the Saints are gonna score 70. The Saints are if you have any player from the New Orleans Saints on your fantasy football team, go out right now and just put them in your starting lineup. Put your starting lineup. I think Philly's gonna move the ball pretty good against the Saints as well. But the Saints are just going to be going at a rate that's just unstoppable. I didn't want to say injuries. I haven't even brought that up once. You would figure, hey, C4, you're a diehard Eagle fan. Anytime you lose to the Cowboys, you want to look at bringing up an excuse. There's no excuse. I did not see Darby being out of the game or Jalen Mills being out of the game make one damn difference. Everyone on defense was getting beat. Everyone on defense, not named Fletcher Cox, not named Michael Bennett, from this game was shit. Jordan Hicks, who's been good all year, pedestrian. Malcolm Jenkins, who's been the best player in the secondary all year, pedestrian, didn't make a single play. Only time we saw Malcolm Jenkins or Jordan Hicks make a play was when Dallas was already 20 yards beyond the first down marker. So, there's no positives. There is no positives right now. If I'm trying to get a grade, offensively, the Eagles, they didn't play football in the first half, couldn't convert on third downs against one of the worst third down defenses in the league. And then our third down defense, which, what the fuck's his name? Swami hit me up on Twitter saying Philly has third best. Philly, he hit me with these analytic numbers. Philly has the third best third down percentage, just stopping it. No! Those are the third and ones, the third, where a run defense stands up. But if you watch an Eagles game, the number is not third, it's not the third downs. That's not the number that's important. It's the third and X's is what's important when you talk about the Eagles' third down defense. Not the third and ones, not the third and twos. We have good run defense. It's the third and 8s, third and 7s, third and 15s. I would say right now, if Philly had to face a third and 28, the other team will get 30-some yards because they just run a screen pass and have enough room to set 5 fucking blockers downfield. And it's one of those things. You can't say I want to say fire Jim Schwartz as much as every Eagle fan right now. But how can you fire Jim Schwartz because who's going to replace him? First of all, who's going to replace Jim Schwartz? Second of all, if Jim Schwartz did not have dog shit third down play calling, the rest of his game is good. He is a really good red zone defense. There's definitely, it's not just like it's a lost cause of Jim Schwartz. He still brings a lot of good to the team. It's just his third down defense is pathetic. And it's the play. It's just, the most common offense I have heard about Jim Schwartz's third down picket line defense. Where it's 3rd and 15, we just put all of our guys 16 yards downfield, and then it's always just going to be some variation of a screen pass. And the common defense is, well, Jim's calling the right play. It's our players that can't tackle. It's our players that can't execute. Well, it still goes back on Jim Schwartz because when that same play fails time and time and time again, it's on Jim Schwartz not to call that play. It's on Jim Schwartz to understand that's not the right play call because your players can't execute it. But he hasn't. How many times has those 3rd and longs cost us games? Cost us tonight against Dallas. Cost us against Tennessee. Cost us against Carolina. I mean, how do you fix the Eagles this year? There's no fixing it. The trade deadline is passed. We brought in Golden Tate. Again, when I was kind of talking in my preview for this game, I wasn't expecting much because, it was a bye week. It wasn't like a bye week where everyone was staying at home, staying at, Philadelphia, so they couldn't work in and get those reps. There simply wasn't enough time for Golden Tate to get it adjusted. I'm going to expect much more production, much more snaps for him against the Saints. But Golden Tate's not the answer. I said all along, I wanted one player at the trade deadline. His name was Jordan Howard. Didn't get Jordan Howard. Still don't have a run game. And is Golden Tate going to solve the issues? The issues for Philly hasn't been a guy that can catch the ball across the middle. We have that in spades in Zach Ertz. We have that in Alshon Jeffrey. We have that in Dallas Goedert. We have that in Nelson Aguilar. Philly needs a guy that can add some balance to this offense. They need a guy that can establish a run. They need a running back that will actually put the fear of the RPOs in the opposing teams. Right now, teams are just like, what's Philly going to do? They're not going to run it against us. So these RPOs lost some mystique that they had last year when J.J. was our running back. And we had LeGarrette Blount in there to an extent. And I firmly believe the lack of the RPOs, the lack of the run game, is affecting the offensive line negatively because the offensive line could just pin their ears back, and offensive lines always want to run it. But the fact that we can't establish the run, is it the chicken or the egg? Is it the offensive line underperforming? The reason why we don't have a run game, or is it just literally our running back room is full of undrafted free agents at the end of the day? But there's no fix in this Eagles team. They have to dig themselves out, and I actually think the biggest issue right now with the Philadelphia Eagles is play calling. It's the play calling. Doug Peterson just lost the game to the worst coach in football. He claps. That Amazon Prime show about the Dallas Cowboys exposed Jason Garrett as a pathetic head coach. And he outcoached the man that outcoached the greatest, probably the greatest coach in the last 30 years in American sports, in Bill Belichick. He got outcoached by the clapper. The clapper outcoached Doug Peterson. So Philadelphia's play calling needs to get better. Yeah, the third downs, when it's 3rd and 15 and you're throwing it to 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So it's like, so it's 3rd 13. We need to make 3rd and 16. Those are play calls we saw with Chip Kelly, and that got him out of town real quick. And Doug Peterson was a challenge. He challenged for 1 yard. I made the tweet. This is what happens. It's a common trait that I've seen over the last couple of Eagles games, is when Doug Peterson clearly is having a bad day calling, he will have some absurd challenge. It doesn't matter. Everyone's, even the commentators, why did they make this challenge? They might gain half a yard or this and that. And it's just. I think he's done it 3 times this year. You've seen it, especially back in 2016. Really bad challenges, and it's that's not what's going to get you out of the rut, Dougie. And the scripting is bad. For those of you that don't know anything about football, more often than not, you would say at minimum the first 2 offensive drives are always scripted. They are always, they're not letting a lot of the flow of the game hasn't been established yet. They're not letting the quarterback audible unless it's something really, really obvious. The first 2 drives, at least for the Philadelphia Eagles, are always scheduled. This is part of the game plan that Doug Peterson works on. He's had 2 weeks to work on this. It was horrible. That offense could not move the ball whatsoever. And I actually don't recall the last time the Philadelphia Eagles scored on an opening drive in a game. And that is your game script. That is the script that has been built, established, implemented all week long. Has it worked yet for Philly? Don't think so. So, I don't know, man. It's super hard to, flip the switch and become an EDP because they're still in the worst division in football. They're still not out of the playoff race. they're still the Super Bowl champions. So there's still not a whole lot to be really upset about, but this performance ain't it, Chief. Losing to Dallas at home after the bye, to the Clapper, to Dak Prescott. Like, it's too late now to be changes. And I don't know if there is any changes for the Eagles. I honestly have no answers. Usually I want to be the smart guy out here, and try to say, well, if Philly does this, if Philly does that. I mean, even Rasul Douglas being out in corner, all of us, myself included, have been saying Jalen Mills cannot play corner. You have to move Jalen Mills to safety. Unfortunately, it was an injury. He wasn't even dressed, and they put Rasul Douglas out there. And I've stated at least twice in tweets over the last month, while everyone's been claiming for Jalen Mills to get out and put Rasul in, is that Rasul's slow. I said, do not expect the ugly plays that Jalen Mills gets beat by to go away with Rasul Douglas. They're both just terribly slow to play corner. I said Rasul has better ball skills, but they're still limited athletes. And what we see today, Rasul had some pretty good plays when the ball was in the air, but from an athletic standpoint, he was getting torched by Amari Cooper. So that's what I expected. That's what I told you guys to expect, and that's what we got. So, I mean, nothing good about this game for the Eagles. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions. There's always the trolls in here that are trying to talk. Well, 90% of you've never experienced a Super Bowl championship, and if you did, you're a Cowboys fan, and you're 40, and you probably shouldn't be watching this video. But not good for the Eagles, man. Not a very good feeling. We take on the Saints next week. That's probably going to be a slaughter, especially if this team shows up. And yeah, man, the Eagles are not very good. I mean, what else can you say? What else can you say? So thank you guys for watching. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out. Actually, fuck that. I'm back again, baby. We're back live. Because someone just asked me, I saw it on Twitter, what is the Eagles' final prediction looking like? How are the Eagles going to close this season out? I'm gonna bring it to you live right now. I got like 3% battery left. My battery is about as reliable right now as this Philadelphia Eagles team. So let's look at the Eagles' schedule here, and I'm gonna give you guys regular season final predictions here. So the Philadelphia Eagles moved to 4-5 after this terrible performance against the Dallas Cowboys, a performance that looked like a team that's already given up on the season. So what do we got here? We got the Saints next week. That's a loss. So we're on to 4-6. We got the Giants week 12. That's a win. That's 5-6. We got the Redskins week 13. That's coming to Philly. I'm going to give Philly that one. So that's 6-6. We got Dallas week 14. You got to figure we're in that one. So we're going to say 7-6. We got the Rams week 15. That's a loss. So that's 7-7. You got Houston week 16. Up in the air. That's 50-50. I'll say, we'll give them a slight edge if that's a win. At best, this is a 9-7 team. I'll tell you that right now. Put it on paper. At best, this Philadelphia Eagles team right now is 9-7. I'm going to say they're still even 9-7 if they upset the Saints next week. I mean, it's in New Orleans. That's always going to be tough. The Saints are pretty much, that Larry Fitzgerald's starting to slow down. The Saints are kind of the biggest arch nemesis to the Eagles in terms of bad performances. Since I've been a fan, at least. This is a 9-7 team, man. A 9-7 team that's also just recently won the Super Bowl. So when people ask me why aren't you as mad as other people, I got to experience the Super Bowl. We're still rolling out that high. Those of us that have been on this earth long enough, those of us that have had our balls dropped, we understand how important it is to actually win a Super Bowl. And, while it's very much starting to fade and these losses sting, they don't sting as bad. That's probably the easiest way to say it. I'm not still living in the clouds about the Eagles being Super Bowl champions. I'm not still, it's not, I didn't bring it up once in defending this loss to the Dallas Cowboys. I did not say, oh yeah, Dallas fans, at least we won a Super Bowl. Haven't said that. Only thing I've said is that high of winning the Super Bowl makes these losses sting as less. It's not like we're wasting away the years right now of Carson Wentz and like half the teams out there that have good quarterbacks, like the Packers are wasting Aaron Rodgers. You got maybe the Colts are wasting Andrew Luck. Then they never got that glory land as Colts in particular. So it comes down to if Philly hadn't won a Super Bowl, if Philly had a massive drought, like, say, the Dallas Cowboys, this loss would be even more frustrating. But I think the fact that we're defending Super Bowl champions, it makes it not suck as much, I guess, is what I say. Because we're a year away from that. We're a year removed from that. So play calling needs to get better. We're probably going to get shit kicked against the Saints. And fuck Dallas. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace